Juliet Thompson, a young professional in Charleston, inherits $200,000 from her grandmother, a woman who built her fortune through grit and sacrifice. But Juliet's world collapses when her mother, under the sway of her new boyfriend Rick, transfers the entire inheritance to him because he needs it more. Instead of lashing out, Juliet channels her pain into cold, deliberate strategy. She uncovers Rick's dark history, a career con artist who preys on women like her mother. Partnering with a private investigator, Juliet exposes him in a shocking public confrontation. The fallout restores not just her inheritance but her fractured relationship with her mother. In the end, she learns that her grandmother's true legacy wasn't money, it was strength, intelligence, and the courage to fight back. The first lie didn't come wrapped in malice, it came with the sound of a teaspoon clinking against porcelain. "Rick deserves a fresh start more than you do," Mom said, stirring her coffee as sunlight spilled through the kitchen blinds. The words didn't register at first. They hovered in the air like static, unreal, until she continued, almost cheerfully, "So I transferred Grandma's inheritance this morning. 200,000. Into his account." The cup in my hand trembled. My throat went dry. "Into his account?" I repeated. She nodded, smiling as if announcing a generous donation. "He's been through so much, Juliet. His divorce destroyed him. You're young, you'll earn it back." In that instant, I saw my grandmother's face, calloused hands, laughter lines, her voice whispering, "Education and independence, love. No one can steal that." But someone just had. I wanted to scream, to demand how she could do this, but my mother looked at me with the serene certainty of a woman who believed in her own righteousness. "Rick is family now," she said. Family. The word curdled in my stomach. I forced a smile. "Of course, Mom. I know you love him." She looked relieved, unaware that something cold and sharp was already forming behind my eyes. His calculation. I left her kitchen that morning with a single, silent promise: if she couldn't protect what Grandma left me, I would. Grief sharpened into focus that night. I sat in my apartment, lights dimmed, laptop open, coffee gone cold. Every tab on my screen was a piece of Rick Morrison, the man who'd turned my mother into a stranger. Social media, property records, court filings. By 2 a.m., I had a portrait of a predator. A suspended contractor's license. 3 restraining orders. A civil suit for unpaid loans. Each story identical, widowed or divorced women in their 50s, drained and discarded. It wasn't love. It was extraction. The next morning, I called Mr. Harrison, Grandma's lawyer. "She was clear, Juliet," he said gravely. "The money was for your future. If it's being used for someone else's gain, your mother's legally accountable." My pulse quickened. "So, if I can prove manipulation, then you can reclaim it." For the next 3 days, I became someone new. Emails. Calls. Tracking patterns. I found 2 of Rick's former victims. Their voices trembled with the same disbelief I'd felt. They sent me statements, screenshots, and scars in their words. When I finally looked up from my notes, dawn was breaking, gold light cutting across a wall covered in evidence. Rick thought he'd conned another naive girl's mother. He'd forgotten, I was my grandmother's granddaughter. By Thursday, my plan was ready. I showed up at Mom's with takeout from her favorite place, lemon chicken and jasmine rice. Her face lit up, relief softening the guilt still hidden behind her eyes. "Oh honey, I'm so glad you're here. Rick's been worried you hate him." "Not at all," I said lightly. "I want to make things right." When Rick arrived, he was all polished charm, cologne too strong, shirt too crisp. "Juliet. The prodigal daughter returns." I smiled. Family takes care of family, right? He didn't notice the tiny recording device in my jacket pocket or the car parked across the street. "Janet, my private investigator, camera ready." As we talked, Rick started laying his next trap. "I'm considering an investment property," he said. Just need a little seed capital. Mom leaned forward, enraptured. I stayed silent, letting his words hang like poison. Then Mom whispered what I already suspected. I think he's going to propose soon. My smile never faltered. That's wonderful, Mom. But inside, the temperature dropped to ice. That night, I called Janet. It's time, I said. We set the trap, dinner Saturday night. My treat. The restaurant hummed with low music and quiet elegance. Crystal glasses, dim lights, the perfect stage. Mom, Rick, I want you to meet my friend Janet, I said as she joined our table. Rick's smile faltered when Janet slid a folder onto the table. I'm a private investigator, she said calmly. I specialize in financial fraud. The silence stretched. My mother blinked, confused. What does this have to do with us? I opened the folder. Photos. Court filings. Bank transfers. Screenshots. Rick's eyes darted, calculating exits. Mom, I said softly. This is who he is. He's done it before, 3 times. Rick's mask cracked. She's lying. She's jealous, then Janet pressed play on her phone. Rick's voice filled the air, smooth and cruel. The nurse is completely hooked. By Christmas, I'll have everything, house, pension, life insurance. The daughter's out. My mother's hand flew to her mouth. Her breath broke. Rick stood abruptly, fury rising, but 2 detectives were already waiting at the bar, summoned by Janet earlier. Rick Morrison, one said. You're under arrest. As they led him out, my mother whispered, Oh my God. What have I done? I reached across the table, tears stinging. You believed in love, Mom. He believed in leverage. There's a difference. The days that followed blurred into police reports, interviews, and quiet, sleepless nights. Detective Williams confirmed what we already suspected. Rick wasn't just a con artist, he was part of a multi-state financial crime network. My inheritance had been funneled through shell accounts to fund his scams. But because of Janet's timing, most of it had been recovered. When the wire notification hit my account, I didn't feel relief, just silence. Victory felt heavy. That night, Mom called. Her voice cracked with remorse. Juliet, I'm so sorry. I thought I was helping him, helping us. You were trying to help love survive, I said quietly. You just picked the wrong person. She broke down then, years of loneliness spilling through the phone. I let him turn me against you. I almost lost my daughter. You didn't, I said. You just forgot who you were. We agreed to meet with a counselor, to rebuild the bridge Rick had burned. Healing wasn't cinematic. It was messy, full of silence and awkward truths. But for the first time in months, Mom laughed again. And it wasn't forced. 3 months later, Charleston's spring air carried the scent of new beginnings. Rick Morrison was serving 15 years with no parole. 12 other victims had come forward, their stories threading together into justice. Mom now volunteered with a women's financial safety network, teaching seminars titled Love and Red Flags. I can't change what happened, she told me, but I can stop it from happening again. As for me, I used part of the inheritance to launch Thompson & True, a marketing consultancy for small, family-run businesses. Every contract began with a handshake and a line from Grandma's journal engraved on the office wall, build something no one can steal. One evening, as I locked up, my phone buzzed. A text from Mom, dinner at Grandma's house tomorrow? I found her old recipe box. I smiled. The legacy wasn't in the money. It was in the fight, the love, the refusal to stay silent. The story didn't end with revenge. It ended with restoration. Because sometimes the greatest justice isn't reclaiming what was stolen, it's remembering what was never lost.